Welcome to the Questworthy podcast, episode number 16. I'm Adam.
Yeah. I'm Hudson.
We did it.
Hello.
That's a intro. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
I went to Korean barbecue last night, dude. Oh my god. I fucking love Korean barbecue.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's a place, where like Kinokuniya and you wouldn't know the revolving sushi place, but on Airport and I think Airport and Lamar is that corner with like a bunch of places. One of them is called KBBQ. Oh, it's so good. We went fucking ham, dude.
Yeah.
When we go there, I'm like, hey, dude, Grace, if we're going here, we need to eat a lot because we have to get our money's worth because it's all you can eat.
Oh, okay.
And if you spend $45 a person,
Get your picture up on a wall?
yeah, you have to fucking eat a lot. And man, I had so much fucking meat last night. Nom, 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 nom.
We're going to try wings on Monday.
I'm excited.
I'm not excited.
You think do you remember what flavor of wings you got or no?
Oh my God. Here's the problem. I told Leslie this. I do not want to go there with you now. Because when I recommend this place, I was like, oh, had awesome wings. I totally want to go there. And then you freaked out about the price because that violates a core philosophy for you. And then now it's built up to the point where we're going to go there and you're not going to like the wings or they won't live up to what I said they were going to live up to.
We don't have a lot of good wings in Austin, so I think I will like them.
This is a pizza place that has wings. They happen to be, in my opinion, awesome wings.
So I don't know.
They have like 3 flavors. That's it.
That's a regular thing. Like in the Northeast, like all pizza places also serve wings. Like hoagie shops, cheesesteak shops also serve wings.
Yeah. No, it's a regular place here too. These ones are just good.
Yeah.
Most pizza places I have had wings that are mediocre at best.
Yeah. When they opened up a home slice in North Austin on 53rd Street, they brought 2 new menu items. And one was a Sicilian pizza, which in my opinion is the best pizza you can get in Austin.
Yep.
And then they brought wings, and the wings are the worst wings you can get in Austin. And I don't know how there's such a dichotomy there.
I know.
But I love food a whole lot. You can tell.
Me too. Yeah, same. Big news this week.
What?
I don't know if you and by when I say this week, by the time you watch this, it'll be last week. But the congressional hearings on UFOs happened this week.
I only got I knew that it happened basically. So give me the what happened.
So I watched the whole thing.
Nice.
So this is a high. So there were 3 witnesses in this congressional hearing. One was a high-ranking Air Force intelligence officer.
Mm-hmm.
The other was a Navy commander who is like a very decorated commander, long military career, held in high regard in public and private sectors. And the other was a Navy pilot or a pilot. I don't know which branch of the military, but all 3 were describing. The pilots were describing firsthand experience they had with UAPs, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon. And the intelligence officer was talking about how he says that, he was claiming that the U.S. government has recovered ships of non-human origin and biologics of non-human origin.
Yeah, that part was very interesting.
And he seems pretty credible.
Why, if they can tell us about this stuff, why can't they show us anything?
From what he was saying was that all of this stuff is classified. And all of the members of Congress were asking him specific questions. He says, I can't tell you that in an open session because it's all classified. So everything he said at this hearing were statements that the intelligence community had, whatever the intelligence apparatus had reviewed and said was okay to say in a public environment. But he told every member of Congress that asked some questions when they asked about specifics. He said, I can tell you specifics in a closed session. I can tell you exactly what you want to know in a closed session.
To the report. So can the reporters then repeat that stuff or no?
No, this is a session just to the members of Congress.
Oh, just the members of Congress. Gotcha.
Yeah,
it's a bummer. I want to know more. I want to see. Just give me anything.
Right.
Because it's hard. I mean, we literally have people in the government being like, hey, or the military being like, hey, dude, we're confirming that aliens are real, and like no one gives a shit.
So that's the part that's really tripped me up about this. This seems huge. I mean, some of the things they were saying were unbelievable. So was it Commander Fravor, who was the Navy commander?
Isn't that the guy that came out about the Tic Tac video?
Yes.
Okay.
So he didn't want to testify, but he was pressured by friends and family because they said that his credibility would lend a lot of like weight and obviously credibility to these hearings because he's so highly regarded in military, in public and private sectors. So he said in 2004, him and 3 co-pilots. Do you know this part?
No, I only heard bits and pieces like biological, non-human origin. And
him and 3 other pilots were flying a formation. I don't know anything about military, so I don't know what the right terminology is, but he said their formation was split by a UAP, and this UAP was a tic-tac shaped object. He said it was a gray cube surrounded by a clear sphere.
Whoa.
It was jamming their radar. It was fucking up a lot of their sensors, and then it vanished, and then it showed up on radar a few seconds later, 60 miles away.
Damn, it's fucking crazy.
So when the members of Congress were asking him specifics, he says, I don't know what it was. What I can tell you is that there's no way a human pilot could have survived if it was a human piloting that craft.
Too many G-force.
Yeah, I mean,
much.
60 miles in a few seconds is that's.
I mean, how fast can a plane go?
I don't know.
1,000 miles an hour?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Yeah, pretty fast. I mean, what's 1,000 miles an hour divided by 60?
Let's figure this out.
I feel like we're approaching, like, you can probably get 60 miles in a minute, right?
Okay. Fastest fighter jet in the world, 4,520 miles an hour.
That's fucking fast.
2,500 miles an hour.
Do the math there and tell me,
divide
that by 60?
Okay.
75 miles a minute. So you can say 1 point something every second, which is pretty fucking fast. But if you're saying a few seconds and they were 60 miles away, that's a bit faster than what we're able to do. On the fastest possible.
Right. So yeah, he said that whatever it was far beyond our government or any government's material science.
Not alien governments.
Yeah. Really interesting. And I can't believe this isn't a bigger thing.
I mean, I guess the real problem is that it's still so easy to be skeptical because I believe him. But that's as far as my belief doesn't carry any weight because number one, we're not seeing anything. Even if they came out and were like, check it out, aliens are real, here's the UFO, here's pictures of the body that we recovered. If nothing changed beyond that, how does this really affect us as a people? I mean, do we end up being like, all right, we got to come together Star Trek style and explore the universe? Probably not.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sort of two minds about it because to quote Carl Sagan, that like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
And what to your point, there is like us average people have almost no evidence.
Right.
We have some footage that's really hard for us to discern, and we have secondhand claims. And well, in our case, it's really third-hand claims because a lot of what David Grush, that intelligence officer, is saying was secondhand information.
Mm.
Even though he seems like a credible person, and it would be weird for him to be lying about this. I mean, he's putting his career in jeopardy to whistleblow these issues. That would be a weird thing to do if you were lying, but anyway, we don't have concrete information.
Yeah.
To your other point, I don't know. I don't know what it would change.
Yeah.
I feel like it would change things for me.
What would it change for you?
I mean, if it depends on the degree of what the reality is. If it came out that world governments are in contact with extraterrestrial entities, governments, organizations, I feel like that would change a lot for me. One, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, why are we living this way?
Right. What has happened? Like what are we all doing? Wasting our fucking time arguing about all this bullshit when like we
Yeah, let's go explore space.
Right.
What are we doing? Which to me it seems like that's not the case because we aren't doing that. But I
right.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would. Maybe if it was proven real, they could show the physical evidence. Maybe enough people would sort of see themselves at a smaller scale in terms of the universe, and then like maybe change their perspective a little bit of like what's important.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I would have to think what. If we are not in contact with extraterrestrial entities and we're just recovering these things, what implications does that have? Does that mean we're a zoo for aliens? Is that zoo hypothesis, which is one of the Fermi paradox solutions? What does that mean for us? You know, does that mean as a society we need to fundamentally change how we operate because we need to make contact with our zookeepers to let us into this apparent galactic organization? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Maybe it doesn't change anything for the average person.
I would be interested to know like if they've recovered biologics of non-human origin, if they could identify if it was like from one race or being, or if like maybe there's multiple alien races reaching us.
Right.
That would be even more interesting. So
right.
Now you know that okay, well, we're like super not alone. There's different races visiting us and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, I if you told me this as a kid, I feel like the world would explode. But now it's just like everyone's like, who cares? Mitch McConnell had a stroke on TV. Like,
yeah, I mean, Jesus. I don't know. It's just I can't get over. First of all, how little the American media seem to care about it, and then I saw almost nobody worldwide giving a shit about this.
Yeah. And what's the? I heard someone say, but I've not looked this up at all, or have no evidence to back it up. But I heard someone say that, like, for the most part, UAP sightings are central to America. Like, we have more of them than other countries, and if that's the case, then that makes me wonder, like, what's the validity of it?
Right. If that is the case, which I think you're probably right. I think that's probably true. Then that does weaken the argument that this is a real phenomenon. Yeah. But man, all those guys seemed so credible.
Yeah. Did you hear about the supposed like ship crash in the backyard of someone in Las Vegas a couple months ago? And the cops went there and there's body cam footage, but like it all gets cut off like and classified before they actually go in the backyard. But then there's like people analyzing the footage and like looking through the slats of the fence and like that's a hand. It's like, this seems pretty fake, but
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is another thing that always trips me up about why the footage of these phenomenon are always so shitty. Every single person on Earth basically has a high definition camera with them at all times.
But I've seen good ones, and then people go, "It's CG." Like, okay, yeah,
That's fair.
You know, how do you?
Right.
It's so easy to fake. You
Right.
know, unless it was the government, and even they could fake it. Obviously, they want to lie to you all the time. But unless it was someone with immense credibility coming out and showing you a video that they,
Right.
validated, I don't know.
The other thing is also it's the U.S. government has access to everybody's phones, so they could absolutely just go delete videos on people's devices.
I send them pictures all the time. Oh man, I've been having. This is kind of not related to aliens at all. I've been having a ton of nightmares lately. A ton,
Really?
like every night.
Taking new medication?
No. Last night I had one. I had such a weird nightmare, and they're all pretty like I can remember them pretty well. Last night I had one where I don't remember the context, but I was in a mall, and then I saw this like Scottish store, and I went in and looked at this like weird Scottish regalia, and I was like, "This looks fucking cool." And then like the Scottish store keep came over and was talking to me, and he was like talking, and he looks down at my hands, and I'm holding um, two packages, like store packages that have gloves in them, and they're like the kind of gloves with like claws on the end of them that you dig in the ground with. And I was like, "Oh no, these are mine. I brought these. I like to carry them in the packaging." And like, "You stole them from here." I'm like, "You don't sell them here?" And he's like, "We definitely do in this Scottish store." And like the owner came over and was like, I was like, "Please just look at the security camera footage. I brought these in." And then I was very stressed out, so I woke up. That's a weird nightmare.
That is a weird nightmare.
That's like just a straight up anxiety dream.
Right.
And then later, like after I woke up at like 5 a.m., got a drink, went back to bed. I had another nightmare that I cannot remember. But after the nightmare, I woke up and I was like, "Oh man." And I look, and on my chest is a cat, but he's under the blanket. So I lift it up, and it's Soap, who is my dead cat. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then all of a sudden from over here, like towards Grace's side of the bed, I just hear someone screaming, "Help me!" And then I fucking like shoot awake out of it. And I'm like, so scary.
Holy
dude.
shit.
So scary. And I've been having so many of those like you think you're waking up nightmares.
Oh no.
They're terrifying. And I have them I don't think I've ever had them before this year for the most part. And I've had like 5 or 6 this year. Hi, cat. So I don't know. Nightmares suck, man.
Yeah.
They make me stressed. We didn't turn on our light. Do you think that's okay? Probably better that we don't. Maybe we do.
We should probably turn it on for consistency.
Turn it on
Okay.
for consistently.
Hi, this is us with light on. Man, that sucks.
It's weird.
That sucks.
I wonder why I've been having so many of them. And so many weird ones.
Do you have any weird phobias?
I'm afraid of heights, and I'm 6'3", so it's not great.
So stupid.
It's true. It's true.
No, I understand that you're afraid of heights, but your height doesn't really factor into that fear.
I know, it's just funny.
So I was thinking about phobias this week because I have a very weird phobia. You know, fear of heights is not a weird phobia.
No.
It's a very normal one. I have this bizarre phobia called casadastrophobia.
Casadastrophobia. What is it?
It is the fear of falling into the sky.
The dumbest phobia you can have. Man, I'm afraid of something that can't happen. You fucking idiot.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
So what? When
No.
does this manifest?
Okay. It's not really an ever-present constant fear. Also, You're getting cat
I'm so
hairs
sorry.
everywhere.
I'm so sorry. He's so happy about it, though.
Ugh.
I'm so sorry. I won't do that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's just everywhere.
I'm so sorry. That was very inconsiderate. I just wanted to pet my cat. I'm so sorry. Okay.
This will be a fun podcast.
Mhm.
Oh my god. So it's not like an ever-present phobia. The only thing that triggers it is the perspective, is like having a weird perspective where like if I look upside down and the ground is above me and the sky is below me. Just that visual perspective, I get like my stomach drops.
I love that feeling.
And I do too, but not in this context, because it's like an instant switch flips in my brain where I can't look at that. So this happened when I was really young, like a very early age. Me and my friends were going down a slide, and we went down like head first upside down. Dumb thing kids do. And I remember going down that slide and seeing that perspective, and that was it. In my brain forever, that perspective is terrifying.
Going down backwards, upside down.
No, just that perspective of ground above and sky below. And it's so strong that even if I'm watching like a movie, like I was watching this, I can't remember what movie it was, but they had this horizon shot and then they pan down and then flip the perspective, and I was like, oh god, like I had to look away. It's that strong of a phobia.
I have movie recommendations I'm not going to give you right now, but there's people fall into the sky, and
I won't watch it.
I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm just going to give you recommendations. Sorry, buddy. So when was the last time you experienced this phobia?
It's probably when I watched that movie. This was like a week ago, and it's got me thinking about it.
Man, that is the most bizarre phobia I've
And
heard of.
it's not like a crippling phobia. It's just whenever I see that perspective, I just like, oh god, can't watch it.
God. So you really don't want to believe in the rapture?
Yeah, fuck that.
Are you just afraid? Like, man, is there any games that trigger that? Because I feel like if you play like Outer Wilds, you definitely fall up sometimes because the gravity.
That would probably fuck me up. I never played that game.
But it's like it's not like a sky. There's no atmosphere in any of the planets. You're just falling up into space. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember any games that have triggered that, but I used to have nightmares about it when I was a kid. I don't anymore.
Just falling up. Isn't
Yeah.
there a book called Falling Up?
I don't know.
There is. It's a Shel Silverstein book, maybe.
I had these nightmares where gravity flipped as a kid, and so all of society was like building. How we ever survived long enough to do this was not something that my kid brain came up with, but society had to build structures so that like we'd had to like that it would attach to the surface, and we were just like always about to fall.
Nice.
And
like Inception.
Yeah.
What about when you when they go to the whatchamacallit stronghold in Stormlight Archives?
A description doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's the visual feedback, I think. I've never seen that.
By Shel Silverstein. It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite books as a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super interesting. No, I just have normal ones like heights are scary.
Yeah.
I don't like it's one of my favorite things at Rooster Teeth when we have to do something on a ladder. I would just have to go tell John Mace, like, you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not me, buddy. Fugger.
So I looked up other interesting phobias. There's some funny ones.
Let's hear
them. Xanthophobia. That's a fear of the color yellow. Oh, do you want to guess? Should have had you guess.
I mean, I actually might have guessed that one. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because of Dark Souls. There's an item called the Xanthus Crown.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being afraid of the color yellow.
That would be really rough.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I don't know.
There's so many phobias that are like, fuck, dude.
Mhm.
Phobias, and there's phobias and there's allergies I can't understand. Like, I know people that are allergic to grass. That just sucks. But
Yeah.
give me some other ones.
I may not pronounce these correctly. Isoptrophobia.
Isoptrophobia.
It is the fear of mirrors. And holy shit, what a fucking awful phobia that must be.
Yeah.
You can't ever check to see if you don't look like an idiot.
Horror movies do a really good job of using mirrors in like a very scary context. You ever seen the movie Oculus?
Mm-mm.
That one is about a mirror, haunted mirror. They would hate that movie.
So I was talking to Leslie about this phobia.
Wait, is it mirrors or just reflections? Because you can
Maybe just reflections.
Interesting.
I think it's mirrored surfaces, so probably reflections.
Okay.
I was talking to Leslie about this, and she brought up that there's a lot of people who get freaked out looking in mirrors because they're afraid something's going to pop up behind them.
Yeah.
And that seemed weird to me because I hope if something's going to pop up behind me, I really hope it happens while I'm looking in a mirror. Otherwise, I won't know that something's fucking behind me. Then that way, I'll know to turn around and look.
Yeah. I guess. But what if you turn around and look and it's not there? Then it's very scary.
Yeah. Well, then I have a lot of questions.
Have you ever looked into like either? I mean, kind of doesn't work with like an infinity mirror that's made, but like when you have a room with a mirror in front of you and behind you, and you kind of like stick your head in between, and then you're looking into an infinite hallway of mirrors, and it gets darker and darker and more scary as it goes down. That's pretty freaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, interesting. I want more.
This is the last one I have. There was a bunch when I looked up, but these were the strangest. This is omphalophobia.
No idea.
It's the fear of belly buttons.
Dude.
Imagine.
There are some belly buttons that really scare me, dude.
Oh, I've seen some. They can be really weird.
You ever seen like a herniated belly button? No, thank you.
Really gross.
I'm good. I have a weird fear of. You've used the Vive and the Index, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have I think it was actually the Index specifically that has a pass-through mode where you could see through the cameras, but it was not a clear picture. It was like this green sort of overlay with like it represented the picture in a weird way. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do, but I think I understand what you're describing.
Yeah, so like when you're looking through the cameras, instead of being like fully in color, it's green and the objects are sort of highlighted with a lighter green. I just have this, when I look through it, I get scared that like I'm going to see something. Like it gives me like that like Lovecraftian looking through the void feeling.
Interesting.
So I don't use it. It scares me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know, man. The way it was just kind of creepy. Maybe I'm the only one that feels this way, but looking through that, I was like, I don't like it.
There is, I know Leslie's this way, and I know other people that are this way. That they're, and then I'm sure there's a term for it, but they get freaked out when things are the way that they are, but like off a little bit, like slightly different. So Leslie is terrified of the idea of body snatchers.
Oh.
So like if I do something weird, like I could make a weird face and act weird, and she would be like, "Oh my God, stop." Like it is like physically, I mean, and it is like an instant physical strong reaction. And it's not me just being stupid. If I start acting like creepy or off.
Yeah, if you just like be like,
right. If I give her like a weird, sinister, creepy look, it's just instant fear.
Yeah.
So I don't do that.
You have to like, as an adult, you have to know your moments of like, that was one thing I had to do was I never jump scare Grace. Like I'm never going to be like hiding behind a corner when she comes around and be like, bah! Even though I think it's really funny. I don't want that.
Right.
Because I would feel bad if it happened to me.
Right.
So you don't do that.
No.
Okay.
Well, mostly no.
Mostly no. Is that her own? That is a very weird fear.
Yeah.
Is there any other weird ones she has?
No, that's the weirdest one, and it just manifests itself in such a weird way that like I can most of the time do goofy, weird, stupid shit that like a normal human would not do.
Mm.
But there are like a few behaviors that that's it, like that's beyond the pale, and it triggers that fear. So one of them is like it's so stupid. Have you ever like acted like a crab and just like walked sideways?
All the time, dude.
Okay, that's one of that triggers the shit out of her. For whatever reason, me doing like acting like a crab, it just is enough that it like flips that switch in her head. So
That's so bizarre. Dude.
but that behavior to me is so innocuous that sometimes I'll just do it and be like, oh right.
Oh right,
right.
I'm
I
just so
forgot.
used to acting like a crab. Fucking I'm trying to think of anything I do that's that stupid. I do so much stupid stuff, but that is
Me
crazy.
too. Me too.
Man. Yeah, that must have been a really tough habit to break, huh?
Yeah.
Just acting like a crab. Goddamn. I'm trying to think if Grace has any fears. We're both a little weird about like when we sleep. I can't sleep with an open closet door in the room, but thankfully we don't have one. Although I did have to kind of grow out of that when we lived in my last two apartments. Like we just had like the cats needed to go in the closet or whatever. But Grace doesn't like to sleep with the door open. It has to be like mostly closed. They'll let the cats in and out, but mostly closed. I can't think of anything else. Weird fears. I think my biggest fear is ticks. Ticks are my biggest fear.
Yeah, that's a very understandable fear.
Yeah.
That should be most people's biggest fear.
There's one in Texas that makes you allergic to meat forever.
Yeah.
Who made that? What an asshole.
Right.
And Lyme's disease,
Uh-huh.
terrifying. And
Yeah, you could get a disease that is poorly understood and there's no solution for it, and it just makes you shitty for the rest of your life.
So in some cases, I want to say my dad got it, and he's just like, it's fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, I the first time I got a tick, because I lived in the Northeast, so we would go in the woods all the time. That's what you did. And I like went to school, and I was feeling the back of my head, and I'm like, oh, there's like a scab. Let me pick it, because that's what you do. You pick it, and I picked it, and I went, oh my God! And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a spider, so I freaked out and went like this, and I got yelled at real bad from the teacher because I was so scared of whatever this was. And then I went home, and the tick went right back to the same spot. Yeah. And ever since then, I've been like, oh
Where
God.
did the tick go?
When I went like this, I don't know. I lost it. Ticks jump. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like nature.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to be out there.
I like nature. I just don't like some of the things in it.
Okay. I love nature. I don't like bugs.
Yeah.
I want to go to a part of nature where there are no bugs. If I could have like grass and trees and all that nice stuff without the creepy crawlies.
And certain,
I would love
I
that.
feel like countries like New Zealand have like very few bugs or wildlife that can hurt you. You'd be happy there. There's a Texas centipede. It's like a red. It has like a red head. It's like it's like this long, like 9 inches. And I was on a run one day, and it's like a sidewalk path, and all of a sudden one like comes out of the rocks and runs directly towards me, and I swear, dude, I'm not like. I yelped like a girl, and I
bet.
I was like, "Oh God!" And I like fucking gave it like a 10-foot berth. I was so scared of it. Those things, apparently, their sting or their bite, sting, toxin, whatever, hurts like hell.
Yeah.
Those things terrify me.
Those things are scary. If I ever see a tarantula, I will lose my mind because I am very afraid of spiders.
But tarantulas are like one of the spiders that isn't going to fuck with you.
Yeah, but it's also the biggest, scariest looking fucking spider.
No, it's not. Camel spiders, those are the scariest.
I'm talking about a spider that I might actually run into.
You might see a giant wolf spider, especially in Texas. Those are scary.
The tarantula is way scarier than a wolf spider to
Are
me.
you serious?
Yes, they're huge. They're so huge.
I don't love them, but like, is there any? Have you ever seen a zebra spider, a jumping spider? They're pretty cute,
Jumping spiders are pretty cute,
right?
Yeah.
Like those are like the one spiders. I'm like,
They
damn,
got like big eyes.
you're
And
kind of
shit.
all right, man.
Yeah,
And there's like that one gif of them playing the bongos. Love that one.
yeah. And when they're jumping, they're kind of like,
Yeah,
they're pretty cute.
yeah. Spiders in general I don't love, but they do a service to us.
No, I agree.
I just don't want them around all the time.
I don't want to hurt spiders because I understand how important they are and how many bugs they keep away from me. But I'm fucking scared of them.
Yeah. You ever walk into a spider web with the landlord still home? That shit sucks.
Yes, it's terrifying.
Dude, that's one of those bad feelings that like
I've done that multiple times, and
you gotta
it's
like shower afterwards.
yeah, I
almost.
just freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
Anyway, all right. What else do I have?
What you got?
What? This is so changing gears.
That's okay.
What's your worst meal?
Like the one I want the least
No, what's the worst meal you've ever had?
ever had.
Or
A notably bad. Did we talk about Dip Tatsuya before? I feel like we did.
I don't remember.
There's a place in Austin right next to the Tumble 22 we used to go to called Dip, and
Terrible name.
it's a why is the name escaping me? It's like a Japanese version of hot pot called, oh my god, the name's escaping me, but I'll remember it at some point. But basically, you have a broth with a flavor of your choice, and you dip slices of meat in it, and then you eat the meat. And when we went, we were like, we've never done this, so we're both very hungry. With this, it was like a meal set for each person. It was like $50-something. And we're like, will this fill us up? They're like, that is so much food. We're like, great. We'll do one for each of us. It was like 4 bites of food. That's an exaggeration. It was like 9 bites of food, but they were like, 2-inch by 2-inch slices of meat that were like, it was $50. And then they like came around with a cart and they're like, do you want to buy more? I'm like, fucking no. It ended up being like $150. And we were like,
dude, was it good?
No.
Oh,
No. I mean, maybe my anger is overriding the taste.
mm-hmm.
Maybe there was some good flavor there, and then we went out to they have an ice cream like window outside, and we're like, okay, let's get some fucking ice cream. And they have like weird ice cream, like shiitake flavored ice cream, which I'm not going to turn my nose up at. I'll take a weird ice cream. But each cone was $15.
Oh my god!
And then so it's like a big ass waffle cone, which is like, okay, at least it's a lot of ice cream, and we eat the scoop on the top. And then under the ice cream on top, they've just shoved another fucking cone in there. They've cone stuffed the cone so that they're not filling it with ice cream. You motherfuckers. Fuck that place.
Oh man, that sucks.
What about you? What's your worst meal?
Golden Corral.
I don't know that I've ever been.
I must have gone when I was younger. And it could not possibly have been as bad as when I went a few years ago. Now, the circumstances surrounding how is me and 2 of my friends, Ben and DJ,
Mm-hmm.
and we decided we wanted to go out to eat. We couldn't really figure out where we wanted to go. So because we're really stupid and we have to gamify literally every choice we make when we're all hanging out,
I like it.
we decided to write different restaurants down on pieces of paper. But we didn't want to just only have good options. We wanted some bad options, so there were some risks.
Smart.
So we wrote 5 good restaurants and 5 bad restaurants.
Damn, you had half bad choices?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, maybe throw like 1 in there. Like, you have a mostly chance to get a good one, and then a small chance to get a bad one.
Yeah.
It's like a roulette.
Right, yeah, but it was more fun this way.
Okay. Clearly.
And so we decided we couldn't figure out how to like randomly select them. So we put them in a hat.
Mm-hmm. That's how you do it.
And then we decided somebody should just kick the hat.
You couldn't just pick it.
to see what remained in there. So we went through several rounds of kicking these out of the hat, and finally what remained was Golden Corral. And I was obviously not excited about Golden Corral. But when we got there, all of our hopes collectively rose because we went to the Golden Corral and it was fucking packed.
It always is.
Packed. And I was like, there has to be some good shit here because there's no way this many people would go to this place if nothing is good.
Right.
So we go in and we start getting things from the line, trying different foods. We bring it back to our table and it's bad. Every single thing is not just bad. I mean, we were hungry and I couldn't eat any of it. And to top it off, our table, just specifically the area we were sitting, smelled so strongly of this orange cleaner
No.
that was nowhere else in the restaurant. We didn't know what was happening, where it was coming from. It was just right at our table. And we went back probably 3 or 4 times. I got 3 different plates to try everything, and it was all bad.
There wasn't even like a dessert that was good.
Ice cream was fine.
Like a soft serve.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
it
that
was so
sucks,
bad,
dude.
So we left, and then like they had to leave, and so I just had to go get lunch somewhere else.
God, how much was it?
It was like $30.
God damn. The concept of an all-you-can-eat buffet sounds great, but then it's always bad. Except in Vegas, they're like famous for their all-you-can-eat buffets.
Yeah,
they're a little more expensive, but you go there and it's like really good food.
Have you gone to the Moonshine Buffet?
Which one?
There's one up here.
Wait,
Moonshine Bar Grill does like a
for brunch.
Does like a brunch buffet.
When did they start doing it again? Because they stopped during COVID.
Oh, I mean, I went maybe 6 months ago.
Oh my God, it's the fucking best.
It's so good.
Dude, they have like a bread pudding that is just like, fuck me up, dude.
Their buffet is incredible.
Yeah, I will go with you.
Yeah, let's
sure.
do it.
Actually, absolutely. Sunday, let's go. Dude, like we used to go there, we haven't been in a while, but we used to go all the time, and like we would go for brunch and they stopped doing the buffet, so it was just kind of like, get one okay thing. And one day I went there and I was like, can I have a side of sausage? And they're like, sure. And they brought me out a plate of 9 sausage links. And I was like, holy fuck, that is a lot of sausage. I ate all of it. And then he came back, he's like, you ate all of it? Yeah, dude.
It's gonna bring you food and judge you for eating
What the fuck do you mean? Yeah, man. You gave me 9 sausages. What else am I gonna fucking do? That's the right amount of sausages. But yeah, I love that breakfast buffet.
Yeah, it's great.
And the vibes there are real good. And the patio is real nice to sit on. And not right now, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, we should talk about some video games.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Remnant, we should talk about Satisfactory because we should talk about
what led us to play Satisfactory.
Yeah. So, yeah, we ended up playing Tectonica. The first night, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah. I was excited to play again.
And it's very much like Satisfactory. It is ugly. I think we talked about this last podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
But you complained to me a little bit that we hadn't played co-op, and of course I was like, let's play co-op. And then we started a new base. Everything was going well, and then I don't know, man. It just kind of felt like, even though in all these factory games, like you said, it's like spinning plates. You're always spinning plates.
Mm-hmm.
But this one just felt like such a pain in the fucking ass. Maybe the yields were too low on the stuff you were getting.
Yeah, the difference was, so we would get like fuel. Fuel is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And in Satisfactory, fuel's a problem, and then it's less of a problem, and then it's less of a problem, and then it's way less of a problem.
Then it's not a problem, basically.
Like once you progress to coal, then it's great. You just spin up new coal plants as you need them. You might use some biofuel as stopgaps while you get new coal plants. But in that game, we set up a whole production line for fuel, and it was so slow, and the yields were so low, and there was no way to automate it. You couldn't connect your things to a power grid like in Satisfactory.
Yeah,
That
your drills and your smelters are all fuel based, and so the more you try to expand, the more you're running back and forth and filling these things up. It's like every 15, 20 minutes,
right.
you need to go back and fill them back up with shit.
And I think we could have built um I think we could have fed fuel back into those,
Yeah.
but our we were our fuel yields were so low that there was no way it was going to cover it.
No, the huge production line that we had made ended up getting us like one thing that made fuel, and it was such a trickle. Like it would not have powered a quarter of the things we had.
So that ended up being the big problem is like it was really hard to solve problems in that game, whereas in Satisfactory, you solve problem and you know that problem's going to stay solved for a while.
Yeah.
Before you need to bootstrap more.
Yeah, and I think I didn't realize this as much, but when we went to so eventually we were like, let's just go play a different game, and you suggested Satisfactory. I was like, fuck yeah, it's a good game. So we went to play that, and I didn't realize just how much the enclosed space really limits you in terms of build options, in terms of expansion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you get into bigger caverns later on, but it was getting really constricted in there and like not the most fun.
Right.
But the game does have good things about it. I really do like the Factorio style inserters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those, especially when you get to the spaghetti of Satisfactory, I think you can do a lot more clean things with those. But man, Satisfactory is such a fucking good game.
Yeah, it really is.
We started in the desert biome.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is just like everything about it, like the corporate branding, the every single sound effect, the ambient music, just the aesthetic, the like you said, the way things look on conveyor belts.
Mm-hmm.
It's satisfying, which is in the name,
Right.
but it is so satisfying.
Right.
And even I feel like as you progress through, like, it's all like going through tiers of technology. As you progress through those tiers, I feel like it's just so much more rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And we just ended up playing for hours. I mean, we probably spent 8 to 10 hours playing over a night or two, and I continued just a little bit. I haven't gone to the next tier or anything, but I've gotten, I think, enough materials now to get there.
Nice.
And I'm going through the MAM and just kind of knocking some of that stuff out. I think I'm going to go do quartz production, but it's just, god damn, it is so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I hope I'm trying to imagine like what I want out of a 1.0 of that game, and I don't know what it is. Part of me was thinking like, well, maybe it should be like, it should go from a factory builder to like a city builder, and you're building on like a much grander scale. Like you're paving the way for a civilization here. But that seems like not what that game would turn into.
Right.
They put in more things to help you fight the wildlife there, which is like the least interesting part of the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do beyond what they have, but I mean, I'm sure they have a plan. Obviously, they keep updating the game.
They do. It's slower now.
Yeah.
It's definitely slower coming. But man, I don't think I ever got to like nuclear power. I think the furthest I've gotten was because once you get to coal, it's like you don't ever have to switch off coal. You're going to be
Right.
much more efficient if you go to nuclear power, but it is an undertaking.
Yeah, I think the farthest I got, we were knocking on the door of building trains, and we never did.
Yeah.
In my last playthrough.
I would like to do a nice train thing. I think a good goal for us is like, I just unlocked it's like a shop where you can dump your extra parts and you get these tickets and you can unlock fancier walls and floors. I think and ways to like run your conveyor belts. I think we can like leave our factory as it is, but then go somewhere new, and then maybe with a train like run parts to our new factory.
That's a good
and
idea.
then start a new good looking factory, because you were doing a pretty good job of keeping it organized. Mine is the stuff I've done is just a nightmare, and I take full responsibility. In those games, I'm just like building for efficiency rather than looks, and I make sure that every machine is running with the right amount of parts and efficiency, but I'm not good at making it look good.
Yeah, it's funny because there are two separate things two very different styles that irk both of our like mini OCD in that game, because I want everything to have like a nice, clean, visually understandable layout
Yeah.
where I can just know, like, I can stand on a factory and I know, like, this is how production is moving. But you don't give a shit about that because you're just looking at like single production lines and just making sure those are running efficiently.
Yeah.
No matter how it's laid out. So yeah, it was pretty funny as we were building because I know at one point I had laid everything out into like 2 tiers of like constructor
You did a
progression
very nice job.
into assembler progression, and then I came back and there's just these swirls of conveyor belts, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I like the swirly ones, but yeah, I try to make things clean in that game, but the way that game is structured, like, there's never a way to just like you're never gonna line up a smelter with a constructor to a storage bin and then that's it. It's always like a like one line of ore, 2 smelters, 4 constructors, and like it just keeps getting wider and uglier. And I have a lot of trouble thinking vertically. And then the one thing I try to do is like, you're producing a certain number of parts a minute, and then the machines ahead of it are consuming a certain number of parts. So I do that math, and I'm like, okay, well, this needs 4 outputs machines to run 3 inputs. So then you're running 3 clean lines, and then you're taking that 4th line and distributing it amongst those other ones. And it gets really fucking ugly.
Right.
But it's the right way to do it if you're looking for efficiency.
Right.
So our factory is running. It's doing great. It's not pretty, but I think we'll have a good time making a new factory somewhere else. I went and explored, and I got chased by a giant spider that you would fucking hate. It was very scary.
Didn't know that was in the game.
Yeah. I wonder how big they get. This one was pretty fucking big. And then there was a bunch of baby spiders.
I don't like that.
Like the one you fought in the jungle.
Yeah.
I deforested that jungle. It's gone. Yeah.
Cool. No more spiders. That's
No
good.
more spiders, yeah. But man, that game is just so fucking well.
Yeah, it's good. It's awesome.
Tell me about Remnant.
Holy shit. Remnant is great.
Damn it.
I mean, great.
Damn it.
It is everything good about Remnant 1. With any of the negative parts of Remnant 1 removed, and it's just everything cranked up to 11. I mean, we did this boss fight last night that was unbelievable. It was so cool. It was cinematic. It was epic. It was like a mix between a Final Fantasy and a Dark Souls boss. It was so fucking cool. And oh man, there's so much exploration and secrets to find in the world. Like we found this one, we were just exploring this map last night, and one of the guys I was playing with was like, "Oh, there's like a hole here. This is like an and there are off the map secrets that don't show up on the map."
Huh.
And so we crawled through the hole and went through this whole back section. We wound up in these fucking sewers, and then we got attacked in the sewers by this huge boss. It was like a mini boss, but it was a nightmare of a situation because we were crammed in these alleyways fighting for our life. And I love stuff like that.
Damn.
That we never would have found if we weren't really exploring. So yeah, we should play that game. I mean, I know you have Baldur's Gate coming out.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I do want to play it, but man, Baldur's Gate is less than a week away now.
I know.
It's fucking exciting. What with Remnant, the first one I never got to a point like you told me there's build diversity. I never got to a point where it felt like it was anything other than just like you have a gun and you're shooting dudes with it, and sometimes using the alt fire.
Yeah, I mean it. So this game is also, I would say that's the one negative part of this game, and it's not really a negative. It's a slow start to get builds going. But bosses drop boss weapons or boss mods, and the more of those you get, and the farther you progress, the more build synergies show up. And there are, I think in Remnant 1, and I'm having a hard time remembering, but excuse me. I was playing this like acid mosquito build where I was just poisoning everything with damage over time, and all of my damage over time was proccing mod generation so that I could keep throwing out these mosquitoes that were hopping from mob to mob doing
that
damage over
sounds fucking
time.
cool shit.
And there were summoner builds in Remnant 1 where you could just get 4 or 5 friendly mobs up at once, and they were just running everywhere, killing everything. There's a lot of cool shit, and from just what we've seen, and we only completed a single act last night. There seems to be it seems like there's going to be even more of that. There are already some synergies this early in the game that I can see being really cool to play with. Man, it's a fantastic game.
Well, I still want to play it. I'm not sure. I just don't think I'm going to play it soon. But maybe when it goes on sale, we can come back to it and play it together. We'll see.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: would you, if you were playing this game now, would you drop it when Baldur's Gate came out?
I don't know. So Divinity Original Sin 2 took me 5 tries to like get in and get through, and I'm not even sure I made it all the way through, but I put a lot of fucking time into that game. So sometimes like with those games, it takes me a little bit to like really get into. But I'm hoping Baldur's Gate just clicks. And I tend to be the kind of person that like focuses on one thing, but I don't know. Like I'm afraid it might be good enough that I don't want to play Baldur's Gate kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know. But I know that also end of the month is Armored Core, which I'm pretty stoked for. I don't know how you're feeling about that.
It's not something that I would probably play, but maybe.
I think it might have like a 2v2 PvP mode, and then we should play that together.
That sounds cool.
Because robot fights, yeah, fun.
There's so much out.
There's so much, dude. And when does the DLC for Cyberpunk come out?
I don't know. Yeah, there is I think September.
This is like the best year for games we've had.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I really want to keep playing that new League of Legends mode. There's just so much demanding my attention and not enough time.
Man, yeah, it looks good. I'm glad you guys are having fun. 3 players is kind of rough. If it was 4, maybe I'd be like, I'll jump in, but I don't want you to restart. But summoner builds, man, that is like I'm normally such a brute force guy, but I just really like necromancers. So that actually might be what I play in Baldur's Gate as a necro, if I can figure out if that's the thing.
I mean, I have another friend I'm trying to convince to play Remnant, and I would totally play with you a different campaign. Like I'll play on your campaign with a different character.
Word.
Because I want to play different characters anyway.
Did you? What are the 5 starting? Are there 5 starting characters?
Yeah.
Did you have to pre-order to get the gunslinger? Or was that just bullshit?
I bought the game and I have Gunslinger. I don't know if that meant you only get it on pre-order or not.
Gotcha.
I didn't buy any of the special editions.
Right.
But yeah, Gunslinger is, I think, one of the default classes.
So there's 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the original one did not have classes, right? Or did it?
It did.
It did?
Just only had like 3 or 4 maybe.
Okay.
And they were not nearly as fleshed out as in this game. Like in the original, it was like you had the hunter who had an ability, and they had a few passive effects. In this game, the classes have several abilities to select from, although you only get you only use one class ability at a time, but you get up to 3 that you can select from and hot swap. And then you have like 4 class passives that you get, and then that grow in power as you level up, that change how the class works. Or not change how it works, but change how you play.
Does it, I know it's not a live service game, but does it have an end game or something that you're going to be doing like on repeat? Not dungeons per se, but like is there like something to chase? You know?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've tried to avoid looking up much about the game. We beat the first act last night, and we unlocked an adventure mode. I don't know what that is. I think that's probably just go here, do random shit, come back.
Yeah. And the levels are procedural.
So the maps are not procedural. Every single map is a crafted map, but the order you do them in is procedural.
Okay.
So everybody's campaign is going to be wildly different.
Got it.
So we started on characters, and then we were like, let's try different characters. We want to try something else, and we started on different characters, and we're a totally different starting experience.
What character are you starting with?
I started with Gunslinger, and
Mhm.
I do like that class, and I really want to play more of that class. And then I played the Melee Challenger class last night,
Nice.
and it's fun, but for obvious reasons, Melee is kind of tough in that game. But it has really powerful abilities, and the ability to die and come back. Its passive ability is that you can resurrect yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or it just auto reses you. That is such a huge, like, very powerful ability. And its war stomp ability is great for crowd control. So there's a lot of good things about that class. It's just it feels a little challenging to play.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Fuck, dude. So many games I want to play. I'm behind this year, man.
I know,
I just like have not, for obvious reasons, haven't been buying every single game, and
right?
bro, it catches up to you. I still haven't played Survivor. Like, I would love to do like some Game of the Year discussions in December with you.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds fun.
I just have to like play more of these fucking games.
Right.
Um, okay, is that all you had for Remnant, or do you have other things you want to talk about?
The only other thing I wanted to bring up about Remnant is, just holy shit! Visually, that game looks cool.
That prompted another thing, so go on.
I just the first one. I thought the first one looked good, but it was, I think, maybe a little uninspired visually. Even though there was definitely some cool elements to it.
I thought it was boring looking. I did not like the aesthetic of that first game, even though I thought it looked okay even a week ago when I tried playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There are absolutely some maps that are less interesting in Remnant 2. Like the one we started on kind of looked shitty, but intentionally shitty because it's supposed to be kind of this dead post-apocalyptic falling apart alien world.
okay.
But the second map we started on was like this Dark Souls awesome cathedral library zone that was so fucking cool to explore. And then it had this side map that looked like Bloodborne area. That was
dude. I saw some things that are like, alien world that looks kind of like London. There's these dudes in bowler hats yelling at you. I'm like, dude, that looks pretty fucking cool.
it was so cool.
I think-
And I was blown away by the final boss fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was seriously some Final Fantasy shit.
Yeah. I do want to play it. I just don't know that. I don't know. It's tough. I was going to ask you. I saw some people talking about performance being rough. Are you experiencing any of that?
No, it's been fine for me.
Okay.
And the other two people I'm playing with haven't had any performance issues. We had one issue where the game crashed on a loading screen, but when we loaded the game back up, it had made it through the loading screen, so we didn't lose progress.
That's
so that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first game, man, I think I got to there was like a swamp with a bunch of bug people, and they were all dicks, and I was like, this is just ugly. It's an ugly game.
Yeah, that zone is, first of all, that zone was hard.
It was hard.
And but yeah, it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, I went back last week, played that zone, beat one of the bosses, and I was like, eh.
The boss in that zone is amazing, though.
I didn't get to the end boss. I got to the one that was just like a dude that teleported around, and you got to kill it while the other dudes are running at you. Apparently, that problem is solved in the new one, where it's not just like boring bosses with a bunch of waves of enemies. Because goddamn, as one player, it's so annoying to like try to take down the mobs and the boss. Like playing that game solo is not fun, but it's probably why I never got so into it, because everyone else is playing co-op.
Yeah. I mean, I will play with you today if you want to.
I think about it. Okay, we have another segment because we have people that have suggested topics. At least one topic. We have two topics. Let's see. Oh, well, okay. First one is from Mr. Danny Picard. He says, useful or useless life gadgets? I don't have a good answer for this. A gadget that I use on a regular basis.
Wonder what exactly he means.
That's
I
all.
have
That's all
a
the words he put in there. So.
I use a like external battery that I keep charged and carry around with me, and that's very useful. But I don't know.
What do you think is like, to tangent off that? What do you think is like the best purchase you've ever made?
That is a good question.
I have mine, and mine is my TV. I bought like the LG OLED TV that is like 120 hertz, 4K, HDMI 2.1. It has G-Sync. It was like advertised as a gaming monitor, but it's a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
And
Is
that one? It is the best TV in the fucking world, dude. Like, just visually, and I have it connected to my PC, and I have like a wire. It's kind of like the whole thing is the best purchase, but I have like a lap board that has a keyboard built into it, and I have a wireless mouse, and I sit on my recliner, and I pop it on the TV, and it is just my favorite way to play games. It's so chill, and it looks so fucking good. HDR is an amazing feature. Yeah, man. I've probably used that more than like anything else. I think it was only like $1,500 because it was on sale.
I want a good TV.
That's the fucking one.
Yeah, we've used the same kind of shitty TV that we got 15 years ago. I have a real problem where I don't want to buy, if the old thing is still working fine, I don't want to buy a new one.
Yeah, I didn't have one. So
yeah.
Grace made me throw mine away.
Man, best purchase. I don't know. It's hard to think of off the top of my head. This is gonna sound kind of stupid, but a really good screwdriver, like a really good tool set, just for doing shit,
or for home.
For home, for either working on a computer, just like a wide variety of tools is so nice to have. And I didn't have that for the longest time until I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm buying a nice enough set that I'm not going to have a problem not having the right tool for what I need.
Yeah.
And that's been really nice.
That is nice. Yeah, when we redid our deck, I had to buy a bunch of tools like a really nice drill and a really nice like screwdriver. I don't know what they're called when it's like a screwdriver, but it's also a drill kind of thing. It doesn't have like drill bits, but it has like screwdriver bits. Those have been really nice to have. I can't think of any like just one-off gadgets, unfortunately.
You know what my answer is? Wireless earbuds. Bluetooth earbuds.
Pretty fucking good when you use AirPods.
Yeah, I don't want to use AirPods because I use Android, but they're the only wireless earbuds that fit my fucking ears.
Dude, they're really good.
They are really good. They just don't work well with Android.
Use the Pros.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're so good for the noise canceling isn't like the best, but I got these memory foam ear tips. You have to replace them because they kind of break down, but they fit in your ear better and they make a better seal for noise canceling. Bro, it is so nice. Yeah, I use those things fucking all the time, especially going to stores. Like, it's such a good anxiety reducer.
Yeah, that is probably one of the best purchases I've ever made, because I used to always use wired, and I hated those. I would get snagged on shit all the time and want to scream.
Yeah, what a fucking nightmare. The worst purchase I've made is worst purchase? Yeah, probably. I have a very, 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 very nice guitar that I haven't played in a long time because my amp died, and I just like have not fixed my amp. And even when my amp was working, my older guitar is hung on a wall, so it's easy for me to just grab and pick up and play. The other one, I care too much about it, so it's in the case on the floor, and I have to like undo all the latches and lift it up and take it out, put the strap on. So it's a lot less like it's more of like a thing to like start playing it. So this very, 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 very expensive guitar, I have not put a lot of hours on. I will eventually.
I also bought a relatively expensive Yamaha keyboard so I could teach myself how to play piano. And then I was like, I'm too stupid to learn how to play piano.
Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Dude, I would love to learn how to play piano if you want to bring it over sometime.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it?
I'd have to go back and look, but it was like $2,000 maybe.
Oh, never mind. I'm good. I was like, maybe I'll buy it off you now. That's too much money. Yeah, that's on my list of things I want to do because I want to learn. That's like the easiest way to learn music. So for guitar, you have tablature, and tablature is like cheat. It's like it tells you which note on which fret to push, but you don't ever know like you're not learning about the structure of a chord. You're not learning about what notes you're playing. You just know what fret number you're pushing down.
I wish I could learn because I can pick I can painstakingly pick songs out and play them sort of on a keyboard.
That's good.
But I was like, I want to understand music. I want to learn music so I can play not so jankily and because I stutter a lot, obviously, because I don't practice. But I really wanted to know, and I was going through this YouTube course of how to learn keyboard, and I was practicing every day. And after a month of that, I was like, I still can't do anything. I still can't fucking do anything. I know, sure. But because I'm so impatient, and I just felt that I should be learning quicker than this.
Yeah, one thing that I did with the guitar, I stopped playing for probably like 12, 13 years. Wait, 10, 11, 12 years. And in 2020, when the pandemic hit and I got my new job, I was working remote and I was like, I don't ever have to contribute to these meetings, really, for the most part. So while I'm in 4 hours of meetings a day, I'm just going to play guitar. And so I would just like tootle on guitar. And those like at least hour a day of practice was so fucking helpful. I was able to like, there have been techniques that I had been working on I played guitar for probably like 2 or 3 years as a teenager before I stopped. The whole time I've been trying to learn certain things and I was like finally able to do them just like through repetition.
That's cool.
But yeah, you should keep learning piano. It's the keyboard. It sounds fucking dope. I
can't. I'm too dumb.
Oh man, I'll come over one day. I want to try it. It seems fun. But I that's on my list of things I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one thing. Let's see what else we got.
I don't know the answer to
useless
life gadgets.
Yeah.
I don't know what a good useless life gadget is.
This might be a joke comment from Mambo. It says, "What's it like having a beard?" Generally, it's not bad.
Cool.
There's like, I would say like 1 in 100 people that like online make comments, maybe even less than that. It's like 1 in like 500 say how gross having a beard is. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'd like it. It's like the one thing I like about myself.
It looks good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you really rock beards.
Let's see. If you could, that question from Mambo, I said that. This one's from C3 Somerin. He said, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? He's talking castles, a boat, a home, the jungle, middle of suburbia. Middle of suburbia. If anywhere I could live in the world, middle of suburbia is it. Mainly, ideal living place or space. Branching off, what fictional universe would you like to live in and why? So take the first part of that. What's your ideal living situation?
Somewhere with mountains, somewhere
Agreed.
away from civilization, but where I'm not too far, where I can still drive to do fun things and eat good food, and buy computer parts. So yeah, I love mountains. I love being anywhere where there's mountains. That's kind of where I would live.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I want to live somewhere that is forested for sure. Yeah, I would like a creek nearby. I would like to hear the trickle of water. I do also want to live remotely. With the only exception is like I have to have Amazon Prime and I have to have good internet.
Right.
With those two things, that's enough.
Which it's hard to find all of those.
It is.
Without being a millionaire, which I am not even anywhere close.
No. Maybe your book will be the best.
Yeah, if I ever write it.
You'll get there. But yeah, I do like mountains. I want to be near mountains. I don't have to be in the mountains, but I want to be near them. I want to live in a place with seasons.
Yep.
Because I love fall. I love seeing the leaves turn. I also love snow.
We don't have seasons here.
No, we don't. And the feeling of just like going out and sitting in the snow for a while and like feeling it fall on you and then getting a little bit cold and then coming inside and having like a hot cocoa, dude. There's fucking nothing like that, dude.
No.
And I hate summer a lot,
right.
Which is why moving here might have been a mistake for me.
Yeah, we have about 2 weeks out of the year where it's what you described.
Yeah.
The rest is hot as fuck.
We don't get snow here ever, except for very, very rarely.
And when we do, it's like a disaster, a natural disaster.
That was my favorite natural disaster, though. The one that happened 3 years ago.
We were lucky enough to maintain power. Did y'all maintain power?
No, but they did a good job of rolling power. So like it would be on for long enough to keep the house warm and then turn off.
Man,
Um,
dude, so many people I knew. So one of my friends didn't have power for over a week.
that is so crazy.
And obviously they didn't have running water because everything froze. So they were melting snow to drink.
No.
And they had a little campfire. They were cooking canned goods. And it was so bad that he actually reached out. There was a few people at Rooster Teeth that actually reached out saying like, we're in like a pretty bad spot. Is there anything we can do to help? Because there was no public services to help people.
No.
Because they were completely overloaded. One of the higher ups at Rooster Teeth had a all-terrain vehicle that could just handle the shit that was out there. And he was driving around, and this is awesome with this guy. This is fucking Alan. He was
Abdeen?
Yeah.
Kind of a bro.
He's an awesome person.
I'll follow that up afterwards.
He was driving, like he drove to this person's house to drop off water and food. He was driving all over the city to help people at RT that needed help.
That's awesome.
During that. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. That when I lost my job, there was not many people that reached out to me. He was one of the few people that did. And
he's a great
he was
person.
like, if you need anything, if I can help you in any way, and I'll never forget that. It was very kind of him. Also during the freeze, Alex Leonard was calling people and being like, he has a crazy truck that can go anywhere, and he was like, if anyone needs anything, like he called me, he called other people. It's like, I will go anywhere to help anyone do anything because he could get around.
Right.
But we legitimately had 4 or 5 inches of ice on the road. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think, and just to be clear, because I think there's people that live in northern climates that don't understand how underprepared a city that never gets snow or ice completely was. I mean, we don't have salt trucks, we don't have snow plows.
No.
We have nothing to clear the roads, so the roads are just impassable ice.
You had to wait until the sun got warm enough to fucking melt the ice. That was it.
Right, and that didn't happen for a week.
No.
So it kind of annoys me. People are like, oh, they shut down when they get 2 inches of snow, and it's like, you don't understand how the infrastructure is not set up to handle this.
It's not. People are dying. So when I say it's my favorite natural disaster, I'm being a little bit facetious. Right. But like Grace received this message from someone that she knows. It's such a fucking tool. He was like, "It's just snow. You're a fucking idiot."
Right.
Like you have no point of reference here.
Nobody even owns. Very few people even own vehicles that are capable of driving on it.
No.
Particularly hard packed ice.
No,
not even people in the north have vehicles capable of driving hard packed ice.
Yeah, my cat supply, my food supply for my cats ran out, and I couldn't drive anywhere for over a week and a half, if not 2 weeks. And so there's a Petco like a mile and a half from here, and it took me like 2 hours each way to walk that far because you're walking on ice.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to like take an inch at a time. It was so long, and I'm like, and I would go and like get all that I could, and I ended up having to go back 2 times. So it was like a 6 hours or more of walking, and one of the times I was walking on the sidewalk that was all ice. But it was getting warm enough where the giant icicles on the power lines were melting, and they were just like falling around me. Like, oh my god! I had to like give them a wide berth. It was so ridiculous.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that as far as like what kind of house, I would love just like a little, like stone or wood house, like something like a little witch's hovel. Just speaks to me, but I say little, I want a lot of space.
Yeah, I don't want anything crazy, but I mean, yeah, enough space to do stuff.
I thought this was going to be enough space. I don't really feel that way anymore.
Yeah,
because when you want to do other projects, you end up running out of space really quick.
Right.
Like we're taking my kitchen table and putting it in my living room right now to film this. So it's just not quite enough.
Yeah, we move it back and forth every time.
Not quite enough room. And if you could live in any fictional universe, where would you like to live?
I don't know. What's your answer to that?
Man, it's easy to say. Well, no, it's not easy to say. I think probably World of Warcraft, specifically like Dunmoreau, right outside of Ironforge. You know, it's just beautiful, snowy. There's dwarves everywhere. I'm 6'3". I'm not a dwarf, by the way. I know people say, "Wow, it's a real life dwarf," because I look like I might be really short. I'm tall.
Yeah,
okay?
good boy.
But yeah, that place is always like as a kid playing that game. I was like, "This is so fucking pretty." That's where I'd want to live. Probably.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine would be some sort of sci-fi universe. I just don't know which one. A lot of sci-fi universes are places you really wouldn't want to live. But it would probably be something Star Trek.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I hate what Star Trek has become. But maybe old school Star Trek. I'm really obsessed with the idea of a post-scarcity society. I think that's really cool. That like a society where the only thing to do is to learn and discover things sounds amazing.
Yeah, not having jobs sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I could work on be in Starfleet, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's funny how opposite our answers are. Like, I just want to live in a little valley.
Yeah.
Drink beer with other dwarves. But yeah.
Yeah.
That is all the questions we have from the Discord. If you want to submit your topic suggestions, you can do that at our Discord. The links are in the YouTube descriptions, which you can find down there. That's about it, man. That's all I got.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.